Hey.
Well, hello there. Welcome to Stay on Target.
Yes.
It's a show, as you saw in the intro, about all things, mostly Star Wars things.
Yes.
We're here to talk some Mandalorian. We're here to have some fun in a new and inspiring way via the interwebs. With our special guest for tonight, Dustin himself, right in the middle of your screen.
Dustin in space.
Say something.
Hi, I am right in the middle of your screen, and it's so good to be here with you all in cyberspace.
Yeah.
Well, space.
Definitely space and cyberspace. So we're trying something new here. He was a bit under the weather, so we're beaming him in from outer space land.
Yeah. It might be because he's in outer space.
That's it. He's sick.
There's no oxygen in outer space.
It's really hard to breathe.
It's really hard.
But we're happy you're here with us today. We're going to talk Mandalorian. I'm Dan.
I'm Nick. In between us is...
I'm Dustin.
Yeah, that's Spaceman.
Spaceman. So we're reverse Nick. So yeah, I got to point this way. Even though
Oh, wait, I got to point it this way?
Yeah, it's weird. We're actually mirror image on the screen.
Wait,
that's weird.
I can't see your finger. You got to go
right
higher. There
here.
you go.
Is that?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay.
And then that's Nick.
That's
Process of elimination.
But-
So yeah, go ahead.
that don't make no sense. How's this working? I'm looking at the
so
wall
let us
right
know
now.
if you can hear us, if you can see us, if you can see all three of us,
Yes.
and hear all three of us. We
Can
had
you
a pretty
hear me
bad
now?
audio out of syncness last time.
Yeah.
And we are attempting to fix that tonight. So as we clap, let's give them a 1, 2, 3 clap. You guys let us know if this looks pretty in sync. Ready? And go.
Oh, I mean, Dustin's a little
Dustin's
off.
a little
But...
off because he's situated.
Wait, Dustin, you go first, and then we'll do it again.
Okay. Ready? Wait, me first?
Yeah.
Ready, set, clap.
Yeah. All right.
It showed up as,
Perfect
on their screen, but I'm sure we were like way behind you. Yeah.
Well, we're excited you're all here with us live on YouTube, live on Facebook, and of course, live on our podcast.
Live.
Which we are excited to have you listening to us today, and we're going to talk non-spoiler and spoiler about Chapter 10, The Passenger.
The Passenger.
And we're gonna do a little chit chat. It's probably gonna be a little bit shorter show. We say that every time, but we are planning on that today for obvious reasons.
I keep forgetting I have to look the other way to look at you. So I'm like looking this way, looking at you in real life, but I'm actually looking away from you.
So awkward. Oh man, you're right.
I don't know what's going on. I'm lost.
This is bizarro lost, but we're trying it and we're gonna have fun with it. So. But if Dustin wants to talk, raise your hand because we're going to cut off his audio if we say, go ahead, Dustin.
Yeah, you got to raise your hand before you want to talk. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, you, Dustin.
Yes,
Thank
Dustin.
you for calling on me. I bet you're wondering why I gathered you all here today.
Good one, classic.
I'm ready to start talking about some Mando season 2, episode 2.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Season 2, episode 2, just like us.
Yeah.
Season 2, episode 2.
Wow. Did we line that up perfectly, didn't we?
Well.
We make our lives as easy as we can.
Yeah. Except we had a 40 episode season instead of just an 8 episode season.
True. We really gave them their money.
We gave them what they wanted.
We give the people what they want.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, hopefully you all out there in the stratosphere are doing well. There was a lot of events in our country this week, and we're not going to talk about any of them.
Yeah.
Except for Mandalorian, Chapter 10.
Yes.
That's because we live on Hoth.
Yeah.
It's true.
So far away.
So far away. The outer rim, if you will. Is it on the outer rim?
Who's in charge of the Galactic Republic at this point?
Yeah.
Yes.
No idea. Can't comment.
No comment.
New comment.
Is the Senate.
I am the Senate.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Good
we
stuff.
usually have some different segments here. Where we're just gonna keep it simple though. I think for now.
Yeah.
And I think it wise to jump into just probably the non-spoiler talk about Chapter 10. Unless you guys have anything else you want to talk about.
No.
I'm looking in for comments. So got Carla on YouTube said, "Hi, gentlemen."
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear us? Okay.
Hello.
I presume you can.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
let's hope so.
Let's hope so.
We can't hear a
Otherwise,
thing. Oh, no.
This is embarrassing.
The whole last half hour's been wasted.
And then on Facebook, we got a couple people there with us too. No comments yet, but we're just hanging out. We're enjoying ourselves live. We're enjoying you live, and we're about to talk non-spoilery. And there is a ladybug on that light.
There
It's
is.
driving me
I told
crazy.
you.
Yeah.
Whew.
So we don't do very well at staying on target. But the topic tonight, Chapter 10, Mando. Let's do it.
Yeah.
The Passenger.
The Passenger.
Non-spoiler.
Yeah.
So basically, overall thoughts, and then we'll rank it at the end. And how many Wookiees?
How many Wookiees does it take to screw in a light bulb?
Wookiee cookies.
Wookiee cookies? Oh, they're full of hair. Ooh.
Ew.
Wookiees don't know how to bake. I don't know if you know that.
They don't? Serious?
No, I mean, I'm just making it up as I go.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah. I don't really know. Do they know how to bake?
Something about a Winnebago.
Winnebago.
A Winnebago. Yeah, well, it was a good episode. Following up our pretty long episode season opener. I mean, premiere episode, and not the 58-minute long episode. So it was a little bit more, a little shorter.
Yeah. I think it was like 41.
It was still it was still longer than almost
or
all
was
the
it like 48?
I think it was a low 40s.
Low 40s. 40?
Yeah.
What are you saying, Dustin?
Yes.
Yes. He says yes.
Good.
Yeah,
good.
it was the low 40s.
Yeah, and so it was still longer than a lot of the episodes from season 1.
Yeah.
And but for that reason, I think they were able to play with certain events as it built to a climax there at the end for longer than maybe they needed to, but because they could, they did.
Yeah.
They really built up the tension and let the fans be a little afraid. You may be a little afraid at parts of this episode. That's not a spoiler. But hey, there's a little suspense. There was some suspense in season 1. And this one's a different kind of suspense, I think. But so far, there's a trend on what the villains are of each episode. You guys know what I'm talking about?
No. What do you mean?
The villains that they are seeing at the end of the episode. There's a trend.
Yeah, so far, this series has been like basically without. Well, I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah, we won't spoil it. But the ending.
Oh, you mean okay? Yeah, I understand what you mean now. Yes. Yeah. I would agree.
Yeah, there's two. There's a couple of things that are similar. There were a lot of cute moments with the child.
Yeah.
Yes, Dustin.
Question.
No, so I'm just gonna say the child. I don't want to spoil anything, but I'll just say I didn't like the child as much in this episode, which is rare. I think we're seeing a different side, although it could come back to change. You never know because how this one ended off. I won't spoil anything. It was kind of like you left you hanging in some way. So you're like, what's going on? Why is this happening? But if they leave it the way it is now, honestly, I'll say without spoiling anything, I almost like Baby Yoda less, which is not a good thing for the show. But you know what? It kind of makes sense in some ways too when you think about certain aspects of the character, age, relative age, and all that good stuff. But overall, fun episode, I'd say. Just giving my 2 cents right now, and then I'll let you guys talk more. Fun overall episode, and with some interesting references to I would say other pop culture things in some ways. Yeah. I really like seeing the space flying. That was really cool. A really hilarious part as well that we laughed at. I mean, there's 2 moments in this that I definitely laughed out loud.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Ironic humor, but it was really funny. Not to spoil those again, but yeah, it was a good episode, but it was kind of I'm kind of wanting to get to the meat of everything. There's so much we want to learn about these characters.
Yeah.
For the second episode to kind of feel again like a slight detour. It still plays into things, but at the same time, it still felt a little detour-like. But overall, if it's a 1 episode thing, I enjoyed the episode. I had fun with it. It was like they were playing with effects like crazy, big action sequences in a lot of ways. So I don't want to talk forever, but yeah, overall fun, but I want some meat. Yeah.
Get some meat with those potatoes.
Right, yeah. And I mean, I would agree. It started out good, but then it was almost like I don't even know, like a gunked up machine. It was churning real good, and then it just kind of stopped. And it was like, okay, well, what is going on? Why is this taking so long? It doesn't really go anywhere, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. There's interesting moments for sure, and some funny ones at that. There's a really good, oh my gosh. We all laughed out loud when we saw that. We'll get to that in a minute.
Non-spoiler, but
But yeah, it was, I don't know, it just it was kind of a step backwards for me in some ways. It was like, the first episode was great. It was a great introduction. But then, you ride the coattails of that episode into this one. High intensity at first, but then it just dies down real quick. And like Dustin said, let's get to the point. There's really it's a filler episode for me. That's how I feel. It was good. It could have been better. Also, with these seasons being only 8 episodes long, it's like, do you really have time to do these kind of episodes?
That's where you're at. Right. We gave him 40 of our season 1 episodes.
Yeah.
Come on. Well, there's no filler there. No, I'm
right.
But when
no
you get
filler.
when you get 40
all
episodes,
content.
when you got 40 episodes, you can afford.
You got room to work.
However, I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I do know that from season 1 and Filoni and Favreau, they do know how to use bits and repurpose them.
That's true, yeah.
So you agree with that, Dustin?
Yeah, that was something I was gonna bring up too. Never fully count out Dave Filoni when it comes to these things, especially if you've seen Rebels. And this episode kind of felt more Rebels like in a lot of ways. For 2 different things. I'll bring them up in the spoiler talk. But never count out Dave Filoni completely. But like what Nick was saying, I felt the same way a little bit. I did feel like, I want more meat, and the thing is that their episodes are feeling more serialized. They're not connecting, and they do, but it's a very thin connection at this point, which isn't a bad thing. That's kind of how Rebels work too. I guess I'm just waiting for things to really kick into gear, and these things could really come back to the play in a big way. We just don't know it yet. So never count it out. I'd say fun episode for what it was, but like we said, give us some meat, but it wasn't bad. I wouldn't go as far as to say it was a step backwards. I would just say it's just not stepping forward. It felt like we were just kind of staying still as far as the story progression goes. Right. But when it comes to effects, action, a lot of stuff like that, I really enjoyed it. It felt movie, it really felt like I was watching a movie in a lot of ways, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
So,
especially the
aspects, I really did like it again.
Right.
Yes.
Well, and honestly, we haven't seen the next episode, so it could, have a point to why it was taking a while,
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, Nick, as I'm looking at you.
Yep. You mean away from me?
Well, I'm looking at you and away from you.
On their screen, but in real life, we're looking away from each other.
We are looking away from each other.
Yeah.
Because that's how we do it
here. It's quite odd.
It's a little weird, but
wall.
no, but I agree. The movie part of it felt like we mentioned. Did we mention in the spoiler section? It's done now, but Tremors from episode 1. This one from episode 1.
Yeah. Sorry,
and then the parts of that, and this one kind of reminds me of another movie, and I'm not going to spoil it, but the
spoilers.
Oh, yep. Mm-hmm.
What's that?
I know what it.
Say it in spoilers.
Yeah,
we'll
hit it in spoilers. And so, there's some intensity.
About.
I got a comment here, but there's a lot of horror references. Ariane on YouTube says, I thought it was full on horror, a good episode, but I was terrified. LOL. So glad Ben Bravo watched it with me to keep me safe. LOL.
Yep.
I mean, the movie portion of this one, for that reason, you're right, did remind me of certain movies, scenes we've seen in movies.
For sure.
And how that all played out. Some new overall new creatures we saw in this one, new characters, if you will, and that was interesting. And how that played with the child. I think you're right. We have to remember the child is a child.
Yep.
And so we definitely get that, and that's where I see what you say, Dustin, about maybe too much child.
Yeah.
Too much child. This was a very childlike child
in
this episode at times. And so maybe as a result, the opinion went down. There may be some things that were revealed in this one that we'll find out later. But again, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau may have some plans for what felt like a little bit more filler than the first episode, which the first episode had filler in it if you look at it from that perspective. But because it was the first episode coming back from a long hiatus, season premiere, it didn't really feel, there wasn't, it felt like he was still moving forward. This one kind of felt like he still has to do this thing with this passenger. And then, okay, so now the next episode, we got to get something.
All right. Dusty.
No, I agree with you completely. I was going to say something, but you covered it. So, I agree completely. So, I'm ready to give it my Wookiee Cookie review.
Wookiee Cookie.
So, what do we say, Nick, out of your...
Okay, 1 out of 10. I would have to give it...
Oh, I thought you were giving it a 1 out of 10.
No. I'm not giving it a 10, no. I'm sorry. I can't. I can't do it. I would have to say, I think it'd probably be about the middle of the road for me. So a 5.
Okay.
Well, okay. Maybe a 6. Taking taking account for some of the action sequences and hilariousness. Okay, yeah, I'll give it a 6.
Yeah, I'm up there. It's my second favorite from this season. So
Yeah.
This episode
There's only 2.
You're right. If I refer all the way back to season 1, I'll just go simple and say 6.
Yeah.
There's room for a lot better episodes. We gave I think the first episode a 10. I did.
Oh yeah.
Nick gave
I
it
think
11.
it was an 11 out of 10.
Yeah.
Just because the hype was real.
It was real. It was real.
It was real hype.
All right, Dustin, what about you?
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. I'd say 6 out of 10 as well. Wasn't bad. It's still good. I'd say almost in between 6 and 7. I'm right around there, but I wanted more. There's a lot of room for improvement, I'd say. But that review could change later on in the season. So I'm giving a 6 with optimism that maybe this episode is going to pay off in another way. Maybe even in the next episode. We don't know.
Right. Yeah.
I like it. So how many Wookiees?
How many Wookiees out of 30 did we just give it?
Out of 30?
Yeah.
That's
18?
18.
Oh, yeah.
That's slightly.
Well, last week you gave it 5 out of. We were doing out of 10, and you gave it 5 out of 5 Wookiees.
Yep.
So I was just wondering what your Wookiee rating.
Out of 10 last week, so.
I'd say it's about a 7 out of 15 Wookiee.
All right, Dustin.
Right. Sorry.
Oh, he agrees.
Right.
Well, that does it for the.
That would make it 31 for last week if we did 10s for that one. So 31 was the first episode. We're down to 18 to 30. So there's definitely a lot of room for improvement in this episode. But still fun. I still want to give it some credit for a lot of what they did and some references they had in it. And I want to talk about more of those special references once we get to spoiler talk.
Yep.
Yes. Well, that pretty much wraps it up. There's some room for Wookiee improvement.
Yep. You got to bake better Wookiees.
We got to bake some better Wookiees. But
bake some better Wookiees.
We hope you enjoyed it. Zarhimoto online said, what'd she say? LOL, nice ladybug emoji, because our producers tonight said, fact checker, put a nice ladybug. And then Zarhimoto also, hey guys, excited to hear your thoughts about this episode. Well, there's our non-spoiler thoughts, and that pretty much does it for the non-spoiler section. We're happy to have talked about it.
Wait a minute.
What?
Before we go into the spoiler section, I have to... Yeah. I think we're breaking the space-time continuum right now.
Are we seriously?
Yeah, because check this out. If I'm looking at you right here, and I'm looking away from you right here, and I do this...
You're right.
The room is infinite.
Something's weird here. So I have to go this way.
Yeah.
No. I have to go this way.
You have to go towards me.
Yeah, obviously. Well, this is weird. How are we doing this? We're breaking the laws.
Movie magic.
Whoa.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that movie magic, we're going to jump into some non-spoiler. I'm sorry. We already did.
We're going backwards again.
We're going backwards with this time.
Take it all back.
And that was the spoiler section.
Right.
You guys see Tenet?
No.
Nick didn't see Tenet.
I didn't, but I've seen Ace Ventura, and he does that gag in that movie. Let's see an instant replay. It's funny stuff.
Great.
You gotta check it out.
It's brilliant. So, are you guys ready? Any other thoughts? But I think we're jumping into spoilers. So
yeah, spoilers! Where's that banner at?
I think we got it here somewhere, but I'm going to have to dig it out. So, give me a minute.
Banner.
In the meantime, you guys can say something funny.
Something funny. Ha, 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 ha.
Let's see, is this a spoiler alert?
Is this a spoiler alert?
This is a spoiler alert, but I have to put it in the right location.
He's got to put it in the right location.
Oh, yes, he does, Jeff.
Sound like Santa Claus for some reason. Ooh.
That's like our bridge video.
Right? What's the Star Wars equivalent to Santa Claus? Is there one?
Some sort of Wookiee because Life Day.
Wookiee Claus.
Or it would be a, oh, shoot. Not a Tauntaun, but a Wampa.
Wampa Claus.
Wampa. He gets you with his guy. Wampa Claus.
Wampa Claus is coming.
All right, well, the spoiler alert is up, so you're going to want to check it out if you haven't seen the episode yet. So, spoiler talk of Mandalorian episode 2, season 2.
Wow.
2.
2.
For sure.
Together that makes 4.
So
one more than 2. And
was
one
there
less than 4.
anything in this episode that would spoil it for anybody? No, we can jump right into the reference that we were jumping in. We're not going to go right through it, but
there's not really any overall spoiler in this episode.
Not really, no.
Right. The first one, well, this is spoiler alert, and we're going to talk about spoilers in the first episode too, because right?
Yeah, so if you haven't seen either of those,
yes,
go check them out right now, and then come back to this and finish watching.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm sorry if you haven't seen it, but
get out.
We really want you to be here with us, but we also respect your Mando watching.
We're giving you ample time
experience.
to get out.
Yeah. So we're basically just talking ad nauseum because we know you liked it, or you can just watch us and not listen.
Yeah,
that's a possibility. But ad nauseum
possibilities.
Yeah, but we're going in. So
we're going in.
Episode 1 ended with a crate dragon, and it reminded us of Tremors.
Yeah, it totally did.
And it was a creature. And then this one, they ended up in this crazy cold place, and nothing but these wild spiders.
Spider-looking things.
Aliens.
Aliens.
From the movie Aliens.
Yeah.
Alien.
That's the reference, right?
Yeah, it is the
that
reference.
That scene was like straight out of Aliens.
Yeah.
That's Yoder.
Yeah, because all the eggs on the ground, and they just start hatching, and you're like...
You're like, oh, we've seen this before somewhere.
Right.
This is not good.
This is bad.
Hey, at least they didn't go to the Prometheus school of running away from things.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they kind of did in some ways, but I think they were forced to.
They were forced to,
Because
yeah.
there was only one path that they could
They were
go.
surrounded by ice.
Yeah. I did want to go into a few things just real fast. So, yeah, that was definitely an Aliens reference.
Yep.
But then also it reminded me of Rebels. There's an episode in Rebels where there are these creatures that look kind of like rock things, and they're attacking some of the Rebels people, and catching them and like wrapping them up and stuff like that. It's kind of scary. It's really similar to this in a lot of ways, but also the giant one that is the main villain basically at the end of the episode. Well, throughout the episode. Yeah. But he is actually a artist depiction that is from original Ralph McQuarrie artwork. That is actually original Ralph McQuarrie artwork for artwork.
Okay.
So I did like it for that reason. That I didn't know that at first. I was like, that looks familiar. I thought it was Rebels, but then I saw that it was Ralph McQuarrie's artwork, and I was like, yes, that probably bumped it up a notch for me.
Nice.
Just that they took that reference. Yeah. So anyway.
Good call.
Yes, good call.
Anything with Ralph McQuarrie is a win.
Yep.
And even if, at the time you don't think it's worth watching, if they got it from a good source like that,
Yeah,
pretty good.
Well, because Ralph McQuarrie, really, if you don't have Ralph McQuarrie on this, there's no Star Wars. He's the one who helped sell Star Wars with his artwork. I mean, that's why George Lucas hired him.
Yep.
He hired him so he could put into art what George Lucas had in his mind. And that is what sold it to a lot of studios.
Yes.
So, that's why I really like that Ralph McQuarrie tie-in. Anytime there's like a Ralph McQuarrie tie-in, if it fits, I really enjoy it.
There's so much art design that goes into making a movie, just visuals that storyboards and things, and really, that design. It's interesting to see like his original design with 3PO and I think the Wookiees and Vader. I think was pretty close. But,
similar, a little bit more menacingly angled in some ways.
But it's good source material, so that's cool that Favreau chose to pull from that.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So our
that was a fun reference.
Yeah, our fact checker said, I thought you guys were going to say arachnophobia.
That is a good. I didn't even think of that. That's
true.
That's quite arachnidful.
Arachnidful, or
whatever.
Another one is eight-legged freaks.
Oh yeah, that's
it works better for the fact that they act like spiders. They're shooting web, stuff like that. But basically, it's the whole scene with Yoda where he walks up to the creature and then it splits open and then he eats it. So I'm like, what are you doing?
Right.
Which is another thing for this episode. Oh my goodness. you want to go into that, but I'll let you guys touch upon the alienness / arachnophobia-ness of this episode, which gave you, you were like, whoa.
Yeah, it gives you goosebumps.
They look real. The CGI in this was fantastic. It was so crisp, so clean, everything.
It was.
Yes.
Movie quality for sure.
Just like episode 1 of this season with the Crate Dragon. It was like amazing. The sliminess and the texture and it all was...
Spits acid.
Yeah, it was really well done cinematically and special effects. Man, they're figuring it out. I guess maybe because they're saving so much money on the virtual location with their screens. They paid for that now. Now they have all this extra special effects budget to throw into these sweet creatures. Why not? If you can do it. Star Wars is about aliens and creatures.
Right. Sorry. I don't mean to interrupt.
Oh, no. Go ahead.
But also, it's funny to me, maybe because a lot of this was done during the lockdown, they had extra time to really polish up.
Yeah, right. They were like, we can fix this in post. I want to see what it looked like before they fixed all of it.
Right.
It's like,
yeah.
Right? It's just like a pixel.
The legs aren't moving. They're stiff. Ooh.
This isn't good.
Oh, that's terrifying. Is he in
Right?
Tron?
Oh my gosh. Oh
yeah. I realized something else too. The Tremors creature shot acid, which is funny because the spiders in this one were kind of reminiscent of aliens, but aliens like bled acid, right?
Yeah.
A lot of aliens references, a lot of monster movie references so far in this second season.
So far, yeah.
So far, this second season is the monster season, I would say.
The Monster
It's
Mash.
the monster season, yeah. Yeah, and while they have not gotten into, Moff Gideon yet, Darksaber,
Right,
there's a lot. I think there's a lot coming. When there's something like this going on this early in the season, I don't know, because there was some Clone Wars episodes of the final season that we were kind of like, kind of a filler, kind of felt like a filler.
Yeah.
And then, boom, they hit you with the 1, 2, 3 cinematic movie punch for that season series premiere. Good grief. Yeah, so, I mean, I'm really excited. I think, I mean, I'm thankful that if that was a filler, that it was palatable. There was something new in there still. And what do you think about the child, though? Let's go into the child.
Yeah, go ahead, Dustin.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the child in this one was both funny at times, but kind of annoyed me for the fact that he kept eating the eggs. And it wasn't for the fact, because obviously they run into this character. If you've seen the episode, you know what we're talking about. He runs into this character, he has to take her, and they can't jump the light speed, all that good stuff, which I thought was an interesting twist. I did like certain aspects, because you're like, you don't really see that kind of stuff, and why don't they? It's certain things they kind of explain in this one that actually helped in some ways. But yeah, eating those eggs, I was like, dude, that's like the last of their kind, or whatever.
Right.
I'm like, it would be kind of funny. It's funny when it's like a frog in the middle of nowhere, and there's a million of them. But
Right.
It's like
he's like, oh, hey, let that go.
I was like, no. Yes, no, you stop that.
Yeah. And then it kind of felt like for the first time, Mando was a bad dad.
Right.
Not really, but he wasn't I was like, come on, man, you got to get why if, when it happened the first time, like, okay, you probably shouldn't have let him in there. Like, it's a frog for crying out loud. It's, it's the only thing you've ever seen him eat pretty much.
Right.
Yeah.
And, here we are, you're just letting him roam around. That's fine once. And then it happened again.
Yep.
And again. It's like, dude, you got to lock those things up or something, you know. And you're right. How many were left? I don't know, but
yeah, I don't know. It almost seemed like they kept multiplying though. Like it didn't seem like there were a lot in that jar.
Yeah.
And he just kept eating them. But then we get to that one scene where she's at the hot spring and they're all like in there, and there was tons of them, and I was like, is that just a magical and bottomless pit of a jar?
Right.
I don't understand what's going on here.
Yeah, that's kind of what it felt like.
Yeah. It seemed like there were only like 10 or 15 to begin with. But by the end of the episode, there's like 40. And I'm like, I don't know how these got here. Did she lay more? We don't know.
No, maybe. But I don't know how she would have done that, but maybe.
Right? Yeah. I don't know.
But also, I wanted to say, oh, shoot. What was I going to say? Oh, no. I drew a blank.
Oh, he drew a blank.
He blanked a Drew.
I think you were at one point you said the thing like what the child's doing, he's eating. It's almost more like a gag now. Like it's not it doesn't add to anything. It's just supposed to be funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess the only defense I was gonna say was maybe it was showing some character development of Mando not knowing what the heck he's doing as a dad, and for us to realize that Baby Yoda is still a baby in age. So this is a bit of that actually kind of makes sense in some ways, but Baby Yoda is so cute. You hate to not like Yoda in some ways, and it's not like it really diminished it too much because obviously Baby Yoda is still adorable in this episode in a lot of ways. You're just like, man, it's a little spoiled brat and not spoiled, but it's a little brat-like in some ways.
Right, because he just keeps eating.
It's just really hungry, and maybe Mando just hasn't figured out the right food to feed it to keep it, going. And then the other thing, though, too, that I was going to say was there's some talk online maybe that he's not actually eating them because there's no chewing going on.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Protecting them in some ways. Yeah, you said that. Sorry. Yeah. Nick said that. And so he's protecting them in some way, and maybe later it's going to come to fruition, and we're going to like Baby Yoda even more because he sent something or knew something even more.
Right. Yeah. He's going to regurgitate them.
Yeah. See,
and as a result, he was keeping them safer because he. Yeah.
Well, because there's one scene where he first gets to the jar, and he's like standing by it, and all the eggs like go towards him, and I was like, oh, okay. And I mean, there was speculation like, oh, he could be using the Force, to force them towards them so he could eat them faster. But like, I don't know. It just seemed like they knew, like they were Force sensitive. Maybe that was also another thing.
Maybe.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, is he actually eating them, or is he just like keeping them safe?
Yeah. Well, where's he keeping them?
In his gullet.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody knows what Baby Yoda's digestion really is.
Right.
Right.
Well, I mean, look at Yoda.
Yoda was eating all kinds.
900 years old, and he never grew an inch.
That's true.
Yeah, he must have ate a lot.
But he was eating all of Luke's food when he first got to Dagobah. He was a hungry little creature.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And,
so Baby Yoda for me in this episode I still liked him, but it was just like, man, maybe it just reminded me of real life in some ways.
Right, yeah.
With, like my own kids.
Yeah.
but yeah, he was still cute. It was still kind of funny, but yeah, it was a little bit of a gag at this point, and not bad. It was still funny, and it kind of makes it seem like, well, that's who Baby Yoda is now in some way.
Right.
But if it wasn't the last of their kind or whatever, then it's like, I don't know if it's the last of their kind. I don't remember if it was the last of their kind or if
it was the last of her life cycle.
Yeah,
I think that's what she said.
She couldn't make any more or something like that.
Yeah.
That was so important. But so that's my thoughts on Baby Yoda anyway.
Now we got to get to the policing of the space area.
Yep.
As he wasn't traveling quickly, he likes to travel quickly. Obviously, this must be the reason because he's wanted. He's a bounty hunter. He's ticked off some people, and we saw him at the end of episode 6 of all episodes, probably the most, I think it was 6.
Yep.
One of the most suspenseful episodes of season 1.
Yep.
Chapter 6. There was the X-Wing fighters that came in at the end and blew up that station.
Yep.
And he, of course, broke onto helped them, those guys break into that jail or whatever it was. And
the transport ship that was transferring prisoners, really bad prisoners.
He got double-crossed on that job, but he was doing it to make some money and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. And as a result, he made the X-Wing, the New Republic. It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To hear the New Republic. Address him. I liked the banter back and forth. I really did.
Yep.
When the X-Wings, and of course it's Filoni. And do you know what the other one was? Or was it wasn't anybody that we know of?
He's somebody famous. I can't remember his name though now off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, Filoni had a bigger role in this one, acting wise. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, it was a callback to season 1, episode 6.
Yes,
which was cool.
And I want to say that's one of those moments in some ways that you never count out an episode.
Right. Yeah.
Who would have thought? I mean, we thought at some point they were kind of come back into it, but they also explain moments in it. Obviously, they saw the security cam footage. They saw that he tried to protect one of them.
Yeah.
He actually apprehended 3 or 4 of them or something like that?
Yeah, at the end, yeah.
Yes.
And so it came back to help them, and it also shows the uncertain times that the Republic is sitting in right now. There's a little bit of a gray area, and he's kind of sitting in that gray area.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the banter back and forth with them was so good. Dave Filoni, but these other guys, they were fantastic. It was like such a cop type moment in some ways, how they're like, they're not pushy, but they're asking him questions, they're probing, and he's trying to play it off. But I like the fact that it kind of furthered the lore in some ways as to, oh, this felt more real. It connected in a way that it was like, oh, that makes sense for what's going on, what's happening. I like when things make sense in Star Wars.
Yeah.
And it adds to the lore. It was nice to see those ships. That dogfight, not really dogfight, but that chase sequence was amazing. It looked fantastic.
That was epic. I was watching
great.
bits of The Force Awakens the other day, and it actually reminded me a lot of that. The quality wasn't any less. The Razor Crest looked great flying through. I'm wondering if they did more CG with the Razor Crest this time than the practical.
It looks like it.
Yeah. And so that was new, but the X-Wings always look great, and there was some sweet technique, some good flying for the Razor Crest. They were warning him, the whole time, like that I didn't want to blow him up.
Right, yeah.
And then he did some pretty advanced maneuvering with that thing.
Yeah, that was cool to see. It was cool to see him get away, really. We hadn't really seen him like that, use it to get away. I know he got kind of blown up a little bit in the first season from that other bounty hunter type guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really cool to see him get away.
Did either of you guys think this was going to be the episode where he was floating in the trailer?
Yep.
Did you have that
we
thought?
did. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm watching it. I'm like, I bet you this is where he gets blown up, and he limps into, But then it ended up being the scene with him flying through the clouds, and that was also in the trailer.
Yeah.
And the X-Wing's chasing him. So.
I think the next episode is going to be that sequence that they started off with.
Yeah.
In the trailer.
That'll be him just getting to the planet and whatnot.
Yeah. Limping along, doors open, everything's a mess.
Yeah, because there was some damage done.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of funny in some ways because I thought that was going to be like some sort of epic fight in space. And
yeah.
They're barely alive, but it was almost self-inflicted in some ways.
Yeah.
Almost took it away from me in some ways. I was like, oh, it wasn't an epic fight in space, blasting stuff, but it was, but it wasn't. So it's kind of silly in some ways.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Makes
was.
sense.
Yeah, so there's not a lot of spoiler stuff in this one compared to the first episode with Boba Fett, and we didn't see Boba again, chasing him.
I was really hoping.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. You didn't see even, what was the guy's name? In Boba Fett's armor.
Oh, Cobb Vanth.
Cobb Vanth, he obviously is hanging out on Tatooine.
Yeah, he's still there.
And it's funny, we almost had a episode 7 moment where, the lightsaber's moving and you're like, Luke's going to be there. It's going to be Luke.
Right.
And then I think Nick and I both thought there, they're like, oh, it's going to be Boba. It's going to be Boba Fett.
Right.
He's going to save him.
Yeah.
Type situation. But then it turned out to just be self-contained episode,
Yep.
which still worked out well.
Yeah.
But it was just kind of funny in that regard.
Yeah.
How the X-Wing, you're talking about the X-Wing pilots, Filoni and the other guy came and saved him as he was basically
and it was
toasted.
after they ran his plates or whatever,
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Tags, I think.
Whatever. Yeah, tag. So they knew more about him at that point. So still not trusting him. Obviously, they had blasters ready to go, and they didn't really help him get off. So
yeah.
It's kind of your second chance in some ways.
Yeah, exactly.
Which kind of plays in that gray area, especially with the new forming. It's the new Republic. It's very new at this point. There's not.
Yeah.
There's still, I think, even in this moment, there might still be some fighting going on with the Empire. So it's not over, and it's very new, freshly started. But I do really want to go into those 2 funny parts. You guys want to talk about?
Oh my
those?
gosh!
You guys go for it. Yeah, there were some laugh out loud moments for sure.
Well, the first one came at the beginning of the episode where it picks up right after episode 1, and so Mando's going back to Mos Eisley, and he's on a speeder bike, and then he's ambushed by bandits. I don't even, what kind of species is it? Do you know?
Oh shoot. Yeah, they said the species, but I don't remember their names.
Yeah, but there's multiple of them, and they disable his speeder bike, Which was an intense scene, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy. I was like, ooh. Like, even before it happened, I was like, ooh, this is going to hurt.
Yeah.
And it looked like it did. But at one point, one of the bandits grabs the child, and the Mando's like making a deal with him. He's like, yeah, you can take anything you want, just leave the child. And so the guy's like, okay, give me your jetpack. Obviously, he doesn't say it in basic because he speaks a different language. Yeah. He's like, all right. So he leaves the child and takes his jetpack, takes off running. And then he's just like, remote controls, like, all you hear is, ah. And then it just, they're just looking up for a bit. And then just the body just, the thud was, oh my gosh. It was so funny. And then like the jetpack it lands on the ground and does the exact same thing. It's just like, boop. And it's like, oh man, we were laughing so hard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was a good moment. A good moment.
A
good moment.
Fact checker was asking what the deal was with those bandits. Were they just
were they tipped off?
I don't know,
because they knew he had the child.
They did go straight for the child, so it almost seems like maybe it was like a bounty hunter type situation. But I don't know. They don't answer that. They don't really give you any clear information. The only thing is like they grab the child first, and maybe just because they know that's a soft spot for some reason.
Yeah, even one of them says get the child.
Yeah.
So they had to be paid by somebody.
Seems like it anyway.
Yeah.
There was a running theory about that what if it was
Boba Fett?
What if it was it could have been either Boba or it could have been the lady who likes Baby Yoda.
Oh man. She just wants some for herself. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, you should go into the next one. Go into the next funny part.
The next one? Oh man, the next funny part was whenever they're flying. Okay, so he has to take the frog lady, which is funny in its own.
Yeah.
But they're flying and they're doing the whole maneuvers in the atmosphere and the planet, and then he cuts the engine.
Yep. And they're just free falling.
Yeah. And you see the lady there, she's just like, and then they cut back to him falling, and then the next scene she's screaming even more, and it's like the funniest sound. She's just like, oh!
She's just like, and he's just like straight faced the whole time. He's like not even worried about it. She's just like,
That's so funny.
That sound, I actually rewound it.
Yeah, we did too. We did too.
Like, what was that?
Right?
And it was intense parts, so I rewinded like 20 seconds and watched it again.
Oh gosh. Well, it starts out low and then it's like,
yeah. Oh man, it was the new.
It's great
Sound effect.
Yeah.
Wilhelm scream.
Right.
Yeah.
It was actually they used a recorder.
It was the composer. What was his name?
Right, yeah, he's just like, I was just having fun.
So what was the name of that species? Did they ever say, or do we know?
I don't think
so.
He just called her a frog.
Yeah,
frog lady.
Yeah.
I don't speak frog lady.
Yeah, right. He actually said frog. And then the ant guy.
Yeah.
She manipulated the ant to talk because they couldn't communicate very well. That was kind of weird. And
then do you mean the droid?
The ant.
There was an ant guy at the beginning of the episode.
There's an ant guy, and then there's an ant-looking droid.
Yeah,
right?
The one from season 1, episode 6.
Oh, that was the one that he.
Yep, that was the one that was flying the ship while they were trying to get the prisoners out.
Okay, that's right. Yep. Another callback to episode 6.
Yes.
I forgot about that.
Callback from episode 6 with that one, but then also I did want to say that ant. This episode was directed by the guy who directed Ant-Man.
It was.
Really?
You got really quiet all of a sudden.
Oh, sorry. Can you not hear me?
Did you turn down
your
I can hear you. Microphone or something?
Oh, I didn't touch anything.
I think it's just doing auto filtering. So we can hear you. It's just quiet.
Sorry. I can lean forward if you want. Is that better?
Yeah, that's good.
It's better.
So, that was a callback to, the Ant-Man. But also, wasn't there that movie that came out like a long time ago where there was like giant ants?
Yeah.
I don't remember what that's called.
It or Thing, one of those. I remember watching that movie.
Or is it like They Live or something like that?
Them.
Yeah, it was something like that.
It was some simple preposition, one of those words.
It reminded me of that movie.
Yeah.
And I forget, and almost like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yep, exactly.
The ants.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. So that was a good callback, but again, that callback from episode 6 was great. Nothing's wasted again in this episode. It makes sense, which is great. I do like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that was Them. It's called Them.
Them, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
And I watched that movie with a couple of. I was like probably way too young, and it freaked me out.
Right. Yeah. I don't think I ever watched that movie.
Forget about it.
Yeah, I know is it black and white?
Yeah,
I knew that much.
Yep.
But yeah.
A lot of flamethrowers. It made me like flamethrowers.
Yeah. Flamethrowers.
Yeah, which is also kind of reminds me of arachnophobia, but then Nick also said it kind of reminds him of like 8-Legged Freaks.
Yep.
Yeah.
With the monsters in this one.
Yep.
Exactly.
Examundo.
So while it didn't necessarily push the story way forward, it advanced in a small way.
It was like walking through sinking sand.
Yeah.
Or quicksand. Why did I say sinking sand?
What
is sinking sand?
The other parallel is his ship got destroyed in episode 2 of season 1.
Did it?
The Jawas dismantled
Oh,
it.
yeah, that's right, yeah. And then Quill had to help him.
There was a creature at the end of that one, but that was when they revealed another big thing with a child using L-Force. And so, there's a parallel there, and his ship being destroyed and relying on his wits. His wits. I don't know. I think he was done until the X-Wing pilots showed up.
There was no way they were going to
I was like, dude, you got to, get on this.
Yeah.
What do you got? You got to... It reminded me of Matrix when all those sentient or
the
whatever get inside
machines.
and they have the pulse, whatever that they do.
The
EMP. But yeah, you got to get everybody back from the Matrix before you can shoot it. Otherwise, they're dead. Yeah,
that reminds me of.
And they're breaking in the ship and then they blast it. He didn't have anything like that.
And then one of those spider things gets in the cockpit and is on Baby Yoda's head, and he's just like, hey.
Yeah. I'm like, oh no,
right? Oh, he's eating him. Well, he wasn't really doing anything. He was just he's kind of chilling there, almost like he's like, what's wrong, little guy?
Yeah. I wondered if the child was gonna
head massage. He's like, does this feel nice?
Yeah.
Right.
I just wondered if the child was gonna do some force thing, thinking
right,
of the parallel with season 1.
Right. He just crushes them all.
Or at least the big giant one that was doing the serious damage, But again, because of the 40-minute runtime and I guess lots of post chances or a lot of time in post to get that, it's almost like they could have cut. If they had a budgetary thing, they could have cut some of that, running away and getting away. But
I mean, really, if this was a movie, you probably wouldn't have even had this journey. You would have you got to get to the meat of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe, depending on what it is, unless it furthers the movie in some way. Movies only have an hour and a half, 2 hours. They don't have a lot of time unless this is the opening sequence and you're getting into the characters and what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was fun. It was a good one. And I still enjoyed it. We gave it, I think, cumulatively 18 out of 30 Wookiees.
Yep.
But 6 out of 10 each of us. So, there's room for improvement, but we're still thankful to have a Mando episode to watch this week.
Yes.
Are excited for what it means maybe for the next episode.
Yeah.
As weird, because I set up this live stream ahead of time before they even released the episode, and I didn't even know the title. They haven't released the titles of any of them.
Mm-hmm.
I realized I don't even know what the title of this episode is until it drops on Disney Plus.
Right.
And then even on Disney Plus, it doesn't say right under there.
Yeah, it doesn't.
You have to watch it until it gets to that title card where it says the Marshal or the passenger. So I was like, well, I don't want to have to watch the whole introduction. So, of course, everybody online in the stratosphere posted at 12:01. They're like, here's our review.
Right.
I was like, how did you even watch it?
Right. It's 1 minute.
Did you pre-record? Yeah, I
just went through the scenes.
So they're really keeping it tight, I mean, they're not giving any episode titles away. They're not giving anything away.
Right.
They're making you watch it.
Most of the trailer, I think, are only the first 3 episodes, as far as I can think of.
Yeah.
We've seen most of the trailer already.
Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little bit of this next world that they're going to, with the boat and everything. That's what we're waiting to see. But after that, we don't know yet, of course. But really, they showed the fight in the first one. they showed some jetpacking around. I guess they did show Cara Dune and
Grief Karga.
Grief Karga.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, and the blue fish guy from the first episode. Of
Blue Fish Man.
Yeah.
Blue Man Group.
There's nothing more to come, and I think that's where we're probably going to start getting into the meat. I think actually next week we're going to get into some meat because in the trailer it shows that one hooded character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And wondering if that's not Sabine or somebody that can lead him to Mandalorians, or if he found the next Culver.
Yeah.
Or is it a Jedi?
Or a Jedi or a Force user. That would be really cool. Or a Sith.
Oh my.
Sith.
That would blow up minds.
It's Sithica.
Yeah, that would be insane. I thought this one being called The Passenger before I saw it was going to involve the boat sequence.
Yeah, that. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's in the next one too.
Yeah,
because that would make sense because she was in water.
Yeah,
and the eggs were in water. Ooh.
True.
We technically already saw her in the trailer. She was walking with the backpack, behind them.
Yeah.
In that dockyard place or whatever with the eggs in the backpack.
Yep. Yes.
For sure.
It'll be great to see where it goes.
So yeah, just for me to wrap up this episode, I say it looked fantastic. CGI was on point. There were some nice things that I liked about it.
Yeah.
I think if it would have gone, the biggest critique I have of this episode is where's the meat?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's all sides.
Yeah, I want some more to the season. We only have 8 episodes or 2 episodes in. I want to know a lot more about these characters.
Yep.
I think they're holding them close to their chest for later on in the season.
Yeah.
So I think it's really only going to get better from here. And I think we're going to really get into some meat, and maybe this might be the last filler episode for a couple episodes, I think, personally. So yeah, decent episode, but room for improvement, like you guys said. So.
Yep.
I think we're all on the same page there.
Yep.
It wasn't like my favorite and your guys' least favorite for once. Right. Or something.
That's some good callbacks to it, too.
Yeah, it did. It's you guys have only seen it once? I've only seen it once.
Yep, I've only seen it once.
I've only seen it once.
So.
No, actually, I've seen most of it twice.
Oh, there you go. Most of it
2
twice.
times.
2 times.
So, yeah, it's good. It's a good one. It's good to have some Mando relief after a fun week here on Hoth.
Yeah, real great.
Warmed up for once, though, so that was nice. That was
nice.
It's been the longest year this past week.
It has. It's been a long year.
Yeah. We needed some Mando.
We needed some Mando to break it up.
Exactly.
Well, I can shut off the spoiler alert.
Yes.
Because I think we're done with our spoiler section of this episode. And see if I can find this here. There we go. All right, so basically, this live show, we got some comments, but they're not coming through at the moment. So if they come through, I will get to them. Other than that, any other questions or thoughts, Dustin and Nick, about the all things portion of this show? All things. It's mostly Star Wars, but all things. And I realized after The Mandalorian is done in December, what is there?
There's nothing.
There is nothing.
Oh, no.
When we finished Mandalorian Season 1, we had the Clone Wars shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
And that felt like a long time of nothing.
Yeah.
Clone Wars finished, and there was a long time of nothing, except there happened to be a worldwide global pandemic.
Yeah.
So that made it at least somewhat interesting, but not interesting at the same time.
Right, exactly.
So it just took everybody's minds on something else anyway. But then, Star Wars kind of faded in the background, except us. We built the Millennium Falcon.
Yes, we did.
And Nick did. And that video is dropping probably tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's the plan. So you guys are going to want to check it out. The full high-speed build with a great ending and some artsy shots. There may be an Easter egg in those
There is an
shots.
Easter egg.
If you can find the Easter egg in the artsy shots of that Millennium Falcon, shot with our new 6K camera, you're not going to want to miss it. Let us know in the comments of that one. So, and we'll send you a Wookiee cookie.
A Wookiee cookie.
Yes. So, all things. Basically, here we are. It's a new day.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to Mando episode 3. Any thoughts for next episode?
I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah, we already kind of said it. Yeah, and we're not in non-spoiler, so never mind.
All right.
Forget about it.
Everybody dies.
Why would I even say that?
Right? On that bombshell.
And on that bombshell.
I have lots of hope for season 3. I think it's just going to get better.
Season 3.
You
mean episode 3?
Episode 3.
I'm excited.
Well, yeah, season 3 too. I mean,
that's interesting. The Ant-Man. Oops, so that's a spoiler. But I'm curious who's. I don't even know who's directing the next episodes.
No.
I don't know either.
There's just very limited information. What?
Fact checker.
Fact checker. Check some facts.
I didn't see this week's Star Wars.
Mando Mondays.
That's tomorrow. That's
yeah. That's probably why you haven't seen it.
You mean earlier this week on Monday?
Yeah, I missed the past one. Yep.
Yeah,
which would have been a good one to watch, but I missed it.
Yeah.
So
a lot going on in Hoth.
Yeah, exactly. So on that bombshell, I think that pretty much wraps us up.
Yeah.
For today. Thanks for joining us.
Oh yeah.
Any final thoughts, Dustin? Nick?
Nope.
No, I think we're good. Solid. Other than time space continuum.
How on earth does this happen? So if I go this way,
yeah, I don't know how that works.
Something weird's going on here. I don't know.
It's like when those old cartoons when they're like running through all the doors.
Right. Yeah.
One through one way and the other one's going like, but they come out like.
Yep, they come out different doors and stuff.
Yeah.
Such.
We've been watching some Bugs Bunny lately. It's been fun.
We're actually not looking at each other when we do this.
You're right. So when I do this, we're looking away from each other. That's so weird.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's like we're reminiscing. It's like
we've been watching some Bugs this week.
Don't look at me.
Some classic cartoons.
Yes.
So it's been fun.
Bugs.
But please do keep an eye out there for bugs.
And time-space continuums.
Time-space continuum problems.
And sloths. And orangutans. Antelopes.
Orangutans. Yeah, it's going to be a good week. And definitely we're going to be releasing the Millennium Falcon build. So check it out when it comes out. And check us out on all podcast platforms. And thanks for listening. If you're listening to the podcast, I like to give a shout out to the listeners because they're hardcore if they're listening to us.
Thank you for watching us with your ears.
That's exactly what it is. So the podcast, if you've watched these live and you want extra content, there's different things sometimes that pop up on the podcast. Try to make it fresh. So you're going to want to check that out. If you watch this live, we're using this to make the podcast and vice versa. So there's all kinds of fun things on both platforms. We're doing the most with what we've got here and the time that we have. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And as always, stay on target, right?
Stay on target. Oh, good. I can't maneuver. Stay on target. We're too close. Stay on target. Loosen up!
Explosions!
All right, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.